I'm Josh Gross, publisher of Beverly Hills Weekly. And first, a word for our sponsor, Dependable Movers. For all your moving needs, give Arnold a call, 323-630-9971, Dependable Movers. I'm here today for our first edition of Rudy Remembers, Volume 1. With me today is Rudy Cole, longtime columnist for Beverly Hills Weekly and several other publications before that. Welcome, Rudy.
Thank you. That was a very moving introduction.
I try, Rudy. I try my best. Rudy, you've lived in Beverly Hills for many years. Tell us a little bit about the late 1950s when you first moved to Beverly Hills from Chicago. What were the issues going on at that time in Beverly Hills?
Well, they're not really that much different than they are today. The main issues then were development and what kind of height limits we would allow in the city. The main issue in the 50s was development on the south side of Worcester Boulevard. Major department store came in the late 40s, Saks, and that opened the gates to many, many department stores. And then there was a great demand for new commercial development. Even though the city had a 4-story height limit, there were variances given to that. And frankly, they were fairly corrupt. If you had the right architect, you had the right lawyer and the right builder with the right connections, you were able to get a variance. In fact, the variance was kept in place so that only those who really had the relationship with city government were able to get the variances.
Tell me about who were some of the big names at the time of politics.
They were not, these people, the people that I best remember were the most honest people at the time. The best of all was a lawyer named Hugh Darling. Darling was the member of a major Los Angeles law firm. In fact, he was a senior partner of Darling, Shattuck, Hall & Cole. And Cole became a federal judge, a superior judge. And Shattuck was a Republican National Committee chairman for California, committee man. There were two generals of the Army, one very anti-growth, one very pro-growth, who were on the council. Lieutenant General Harold George later went to Northrop, and Major General Leroy Watson. So we had two generals of the Army at one time on the council. Leonard K. Firestone, the scion to the tire company, was also a member of the council. Very able guys, but there are also some people who were fairly, not to say corrupt, but they played games with the laws and the rules of the time. So a lot of buildings were built that were really not comfortable for the area, and oversized and created traffic, didn't have enough parking. And then the real revolution came by the homeowners and residents, and they began taking an interest in this, and elected a council later in the early 60s that changed all that.
We're going to talk about that in Volume 2, but one more question on this, Rudy. Now, when you came to Beverly Hills, you were a newspaper man? You were working for Beverly Hills Times at that time?
No, my first involvement in Beverly Hills was actually when I worked for the Los Angeles Daily Journal, which is a lawyer's paper, legal paper.
Still in business today.
Still in business today. And part of my beat was Beverly Hills, so I got to know not only the Bar Association here, but city government. And the Beverly Hills Bar at that time was trying to get a branch of the Superior Court in our municipal court. So I was very involved in that, and it was a very exciting bar. And through that, I became more knowledgeable about city government, and then eventually, of course, started the Beverly Hills Times.
And tell us, how did that come about, but briefly?
Well, actually, somebody wanted me to manage a campaign for a judge in Beverly Hills, and I really wasn't that interested in doing it. I had managed some campaigns outside of Beverly Hills, and I had questions about this person, and it turned out I was wrong. He turned out to be a very, very straight, decent guy, but I didn't want to do his campaign, and the people who were backing him said, well, is it money? I said, well, it's not just money, but it's just my feeling about it. And they said, all right, what do you most want in life? And I said, well, okay, my own newspaper. They said, okay, you get them elected, we'll start a newspaper for you. And that's how the Beverly Hills Times began. There was then a daily newspaper with a weekly at the same time in Beverly Hills, the Beverly Hills Citizen and the Beverly Hills Advertiser. And the owner of that was very involved in every part of, he was also a land developer, major property owner in the city. And it was a pretty tough competitive situation for him. But we began the paper, Beverly Hills Times, which, as you know, eventually became the Angeles Courier.
Right. And we're going to talk about that in a subsequent issue. Thank you, Rudy. We'll be back for some more in Volume 2 coming up real soon.